In the studio with Dick Hyman.
I'm Dick Hyman. I'm a pianist, composer, arranger, conductor, whatever's necessary.
What was the last thing you played on your piano?
I sometimes review the Chopin etudes. They're a challenge, and sometimes you can get it more or less right. Sometimes I play Bach. So I think Bach was one of the greatest thinkers of the human race in history. It's just amazing how he gets from here to there, and they're always worthy of analysis. It's not just a matter of playing them, it's a matter of why he does this and that. They're like the most beautiful blueprints that anybody ever put together.
How often do you buy vinyl records?
Oh, with the new store in Venice, I bought one about a week ago. Sometimes I find some odd things out of the past. Sometimes they're my own things. The vinyl is to me in some ways superior to even CDs, and CDs are pretty obsolete by now. I like the old records because they have artwork, they have literature connected with them, and they're all assembled for you. You don't have to download individual titles and maybe wonder what the underlying subject matter was.
Tell me about the last vinyl you purchased.
I found an old record of Lena Horne and Harry Belafonte singing items from Porgy and Bess. I'd never heard of it before, and I got it home. It was in perfect condition, and I am fascinated by the fact that they do it so well, but that's to be expected, but that the arrangements remind me a lot of the recording that had been made around the same time by Gil Evans and Miles Davis of Porgy and Bess. And I'm wondering who the arranger was, because he's not really credited on the album. I think it might even have been Gil Evans. That's my theory. He was probably under contract not to use his name. And this record is hardly anybody ever thinks about this record. That's why I was delighted to find it just by accident.
What modern musicians do you enjoy listening to?
I'm not really familiar with the modern musicians other than the jazz players. And of them, I admire and listen to Bill Charlap, the pianist who actually replaced me at the concert series at the 92nd Street Y in New York as music director. He's a wonderful pianist. I love to hear him.
So you're not a Busta Rhymes fan?
Mr. Rhymes did me a great financial favor by recording a track on one of his albums from a few years ago. A track that I had made many years back on synthesizer. He took and put a rap on top of it, and the record is very odd, very weird, and it works. And I'm very much indebted to Busta Rhymes for doing that for me.
What's your favorite Woody Allen film?
Well, I really liked the recent ones a lot. I had nothing to do with the Midnight in Paris, nor the other one that's just come out, the To Rome with Love. But of the ones that I did, which were about a dozen, I think I liked best Everyone Says I Love You.
If you had to introduce someone to jazz, what record would you play them?
Actually, it's a record I heard only recently. My friend Jack played it to me in the car. It's a record from the 1940s, I guess, by a band assembled by Lionel Hampton, the vibraphonist. And he had an all-star crew of guys with him, and they played Stardust for about 10 minutes. And they didn't play the melody once after playing it kind of just for the record, so to speak, in the first chorus. After that, they left it completely, just played variations on the chords of Stardust. It's a fine and very typical jazz record, and if I had to introduce anybody to what it's all about, I would start with that.
Does practice really make perfect?
It helps a lot. There is no perfection. That's one thing you have to understand, or else you can have suicidal thoughts. You can be very good, and you can be quite adequate, and you can be good for a time, but you got to keep practicing.